Good evening, everybody. Welcome to round 8. Welcome to Spa. Starting a little bit later than usual today. Having a few power problems in South Africa again. So we'll be having a shortened qualifying, not the usual 3 sessions, just the one session of 18 minutes, I believe. We have 16.5 minutes to go. No one as of yet has set a lap time. I'm not sure if it has to do with the load shedding in various parts of the country, but just these 7 drivers taking part tonight. Everyone out on circuit, all 7 drivers now. Track shouldn't be too crowded. We're getting the first cars to go over the line to set their first fast lap. RZDV is going to be one of the first ones to attempt a Rouge on a quick lap, which threw it just fine. So we do have him with us in the party chat. He's just muted. We can't hear him, but later on we'll get him to just give us some confirmation on the weather. Everything looks fine for now. The wet Belgium could be havoc. Over in Tier 1, not having the same problem. They're starting off strong, starting with 15 drivers. And also seem to just be having the one qualifying session. So competitors today, obviously RZDV 2000, he's hasn't been behind the wheel for a while. Raptor, he goes provisionally fastest. Only managed to do a lap for now, 1:44.6. Claasen won't be dry race. There we go, confirmation. So no issues there. I haven't seen a wet race in a while actually. Just hope it doesn't happen this Friday. I think we're racing in Singapore. Sotronic goes second. Time of 1:50. It's clearly not his optimal just yet. Got Avalanche, just one of the Renault drivers showing up tonight. So I don't think anyone has teammates tonight. Cowboy goes second with a 1:46.8. I am mistaken, there are 2 Haas, I think. Or is it DV? No time as of yet. Wonder if he got an invalidated on the previous. Still 2 drivers in the pits. No lap time from them. That's Giant Kind. And I believe Maurice. Someone's had a name change. There you go. Maurice, how's it going? And then obviously Ronald there in the comment section, just unfortunately sitting this one out. Load shedding. Getting the better of him tonight. One's had to sit one out at some point. It's never fun. So currently we've got Raptor first, RZDV, he went second with a time of 1:45.5, Avalanche third in the Renault, Cowboy fourth, Mesotronic still fifth. We've got Maurice and Giant Kind, they were sitting in the pits, they're both out on circuit. Need to get laps done. Obviously you've just got the one session. And whatever tyre you use for that fastest lap, you're gonna start the race on that tyre. So this basically works as a long Q2 session, or a singular Q2 session. Since you're sitting there watching the race, Ronald, what's your prediction? I mean, there's only 7 drivers, so what's your top 3 prediction for qualifying? So Maurice still on an out lap. Giant Kind, he has started his quick lap. He's going up Eau Rouge, and well, you know, there's really nothing I can say. I think by this point everybody believes commentator's curse is a thing, and can you really argue after you saw that? Sorry about that. Off to the next car. Reese now, he starts his quick lap. He approaches Eau Rouge. This is where Giant Kind lost it. And you see the stricken Toro Rosso. He's obviously going to start this race from last place, considering if Maurice can get a lap time in here. Obviously 2 cars out on circuit at the moment. That's the horse of Maurice. He had to set a lap time, and he's got a Raptor currently on provisional pole, a 1:44.6. One really close to him at the moment, but he's out there, maybe looking to improve on that time. Obviously, your fastest lap, you're gonna have to start the race on those tires, so you don't want to abuse them too much. Might find yourself in a situation where you have to pit a lap or 2 earlier than everybody else because you stretch your tires a little bit too much in qualifying. Welcome, Steph. Thanks for joining. Yeah, just the 7 drivers. One has retired, and it was due to commentator's curse. You should probably not speak about somebody while they're going through a rouge. But we're gonna start with 6 drivers, or 7 drivers. And now Raptor having a spin. That doesn't count as commentator's curse because the footage was there, but I wasn't saying a word. As that happens, Maurice has gone fastest, left it for very late. He's gone out there, set a 1:44.4. It's 0.2 of a second faster than Raptor. 7 minutes remaining in the session. It's got heavy damage to the front of that car, so he's gonna need to get into the pits and sort that out and get right out there again if he intends to start on pole. So doesn't want to get caught out. Obviously it's the longest track on the calendar. You can misjudge your timing here. Takes a while to get around here, especially on a warm-up lap on cold tires. Maurice, well, you know what, to be honest with you, he's been racing with us all season, but he's a random name change, and I wasn't told, so I don't know actually. So Maurice, if you do go back to the pits at some stage, just let me know there what was your previous name. This is when it would help to have you, help to have your hun here. ESCOM not playing such a part in Tier 1. Got a glimpse at the start of their qualifying session, and they had 15 drivers. Just to go live with Tier 1 now, pretty much the same thing as here. We've got 5 minutes remaining in the session, so do they. And Connor Young leading on that side with a lap time of a 1:41. Is that a 1? Sorry about that. That's a 1:43.7. Tier 2 fastest lap time, a 1:44.5. So not as close as we've seen it in some of the other rounds. There we go. Oh boy. That's Maurice. Probably should have put that together, but it's late in the day. Or is it DV third for now, 1:45.5. That Renault still 1:46.7, good enough for fourth. Cowboy in the pits, 1:46.8. 4 minutes remaining on the clock, so if he wants to do another lap time, remember the track is a long one, so you need to get out there and leave it for too late. Don't pull a Monza all by yourself. At the moment, Maurice on provisional pole. This man's still going to give him a challenge. Raptor back out on circuit. He's got a new front wing, and he's on a mission. Needs to find 2.5 tenths. He's going to dethrone that time. Three minutes remain in the session. RZDV also out on circuit, looking to improve on his time, 1:45.5 at the moment. Cowboy in the pits, as is Esotronic. See Giant Kind retired earlier, as has Avalash. He's not looking to improve on that time any further. Second row, he's happy with that. Raptor going off track, and that's won't be ideal. Here we go, Upper Rouge. Oh, when you get it right, it just feels so good. Raptor coming around and into the pits. Just 2 minutes remaining. He's not going to have enough time to get back out. So the best he's going to be able to do is second. That's if RZDV does not find any time. He's got the opportunity to do so now. Another thing to point out is Maurice is the only driver on medium, so gonna probably be a little bit out of sync with everybody else, but if he's got that sort of speed, it really shouldn't matter. Just needs to stay in front of that bunch for long enough until their tyres fall off. Doesn't want to fall back into the field. Really wants to get those turn 1 and 2 right and get away from that, because if he falls behind the softs, go now onto the pit straight. RZDV, does he improve? He does, but it's not enough to change his position. He's basically a tenth of a second behind Raptor. Three-tenths cover the top 3. No one else is out on circuit. Just this McLaren. And he's not using DRS, so definitely not pushing it on this lap. This is an in-lap. Session has basically come to an end. And read those results to you quite confidently. If there aren't any penalties I don't know about. Obviously Maurice will take pole position. That's a 1:44.4, and crucially on a set of mediums, the only driver to do so. Then Raptor 1:44.6. RZDV just missing that time at the end there, 1:44.7. Avalanche 1:46.0, so a bit of a gap. Then Cowboy 1:46.8 in 5th, Esotronic in 6th. That's a 1:50.5. He just did the one lap. And obviously Giant Kind, he became the first victim of a rouge. See, no more qualifying after this. After this transition, we'll go straight into the race. I believe there still will be a formation lap. Don't know of any other changes. Not sure who needs to retire here. Oh wow. Nicely. That's just confirmation. RZDV, he stays 3rd. Really nice. Look at those times there. Top 3 covered by 3/10 of a second. Maurice, Raptor and RZDV, and then you've got Avalanche in 4th, Cowboy 5th, Esotronic 6th. Giant Kind will start from 7th after retiring. He did not set a lap time. So at least we did get confirmation earlier on that it was a dry race. So I don't think we need to worry about that side of things. This track becomes a whole different ball game in the wet, a whole lot more complicated. We go at the start of the formation lap. We had a bit of a, don't know what that was, a few cars disappeared, but they've reappeared. Hope that's not a sign of things to come. We had an interesting lobby last night, where basically 3 cars got away. The lights went green, and 3 cars got away. The rest of the cars were stuck on the grid for exactly 15 seconds, and then they were released. So hopefully we have none of that. No interesting shenanigans. Another thing here at Spa to be so careful about, you've always got to remember the last place you want to lose a wing is in the first sector. This track is 7 kilometers long, so if you have severe damage, it's a long way back. So you need to take care. I saw a race at Belgium once where a certain individual had 9 pit stops in a 100% race. So very easy to get damage here. Not the widest of circuits. One of the older tracks on the calendar has been modernized to an extent, not as narrow as it used to be. Basically, the FIA has a grade for how wide these things need to be, and some of the circuits just can't cut it, so they widen it to an extent, as much as they can. Monza being one of those circuits that's being asked to widen certain parts of the circuit. Just feel it would take away its character. And here we go, guys going around the final chicane, starting to line up on the grid. See Maurice or Malpai, whichever one you prefer, will be starting from the front. See, he's got a set of mediums, so I think just in the initial laps, some of these cars behind him may really give him a go, but just try and get a decent camera angle here, but it's not working. There we go, that's better. 5 lights and they're off and we're underway, so no pause like yesterday. This time we're straight underway. That was actually quite quick. Raptor briefly takes the lead around the outside. Ooh, and there's a little bit of contact with the horse and it's caused a... Oh well. It's too much information. This is when you need a co-commentator. A few cars obviously involved in that. Saw a bit of carbon fiber. Can't tell you who exactly got damaged. We'll go through the list. Raptor leads for the time being in the Alfa Romeo. Second, got to be the biggest winner on the start, Giant Kind. He started from 7th. He had a retirement in qualifying. Started from last. He's up to 2nd. Avalash, he started in 4th. He's up 1 place to 3rd. Cowboy starting in 5th, also up 1 place. He's up into 4th. Obviously for Maurice, not having the best of time. He started on pole position on that set of mediums. He's down in 5th. He's lost 4 places. Actually going around his teammate as we speak. There we go. Teammate runs wide, takes the position. He's up into 4th. And crucially, I don't see any front wing damage on that horse. So hopefully he's going to be able to come right back at them without any need for a pit stop. RZDB also, another one of the drivers starting higher up. It's down in 6th for the time being. Time for recovery. Let's have a look at his wing. He does have damage. He's got damage on the left, missing an end plate. Those long fast corners around Belgium, never comfortable. He dives into the pits. It's this Giant Kind. He had a blistering start from 7th to 2nd, but he's dived into the pits on lap 1. He's going on to a set of mediums. Let's just bring up the tyres page, see who's doing what. RZDV also going on to a set of mediums. Maurice no longer the only car on a set of mediums. He's just gotten past the Renault of Avalash. Renault hasn't given up just yet. Goes around the outside. Holds on for now. The last thing he wants is starting from pole. He saw how quickly things could have gone badly. Virtual safety car. I was wondering why this battle suddenly calmed down. Virtual safety car. Something we've seen, obviously, like mentioned in previous races since a recent patch. The amount of safety cars in a race has really gone up. It's really sensitive. Well, that's the end of the virtual safety car. Probably just made them lose tire temperature and brake temperature, if nothing else. Messed them around a bit. That's allowed Maurice to get past Avalash. He got past him on the restart pretty easily. Renault just running wide and making it easy. Ooh, I was just about to say the Haas running wide there and losing a bit of time, but the Renault followed him and ran even wider. Got a bit of the wall there on the outside. Not ideal. Cowboy still running in fourth in the second Haas. Toro Rosso back out on circuit. He's in fifth. McLaren in sixth. And then an Estetronic. It's down in seventh in the racing point. Heavy damage on that car. Drive now with your leader. 3.5 seconds up the road from second place. I'll be watching that gap now. See, he is on a set of softs. Driver behind him on a set of mediums. Two opposing strategies. See, we'll probably see Raptor coming in the next couple of laps. We'll see Maurice stay out longer into the race, but then obviously Raptor is going to have to do the marathon on the mediums at the end, and Maurice will have the faster tyre at the end. So completely different strategies. Could have gone really wrong. Maurice had serious contact at turn 1. Luckily no damage to the car. If damage had occurred, he would have had to come into the pits, and well, that whole medium strategy would be scrapped. Or we have to patch something together using the hards, and that is not what you want. Estetronic. He's actually on a set of hards, the only driver out on circuit on a set of hards. Just have a look at that car. Make sure it's not ghosting. Looks fine. It's not having the best of days around Belgium so far. Lap 4 of 22. Maybe the longest track on the calendar, but the Grand Prix is same length as any other. About 310 kilometers. But for some reason, if you've done 100% on Belgium, it really feels like that little bit more. Don't know why, but they're all the same. They're actually all the same distance. RZDV trying to find his footing back in this race. Obviously now a different strategy on a set of mediums. He's going to probably go as late into the race as he can. Haven't done any practice on the circuit myself, so I don't really know any data in terms of how many laps can we expect out of a set of mediums or softs. We'll just have to learn as the race goes on. Started with 7 drivers. Lap 4, we still have our 7 drivers, at least. And then for a change, actually this hasn't happened before. Tier 1 and Tier 2 running in sync. We're both on lap 5. Obviously in Tier 2, Raptor leading. And then over in Tier 1, your leader is Mackett. And it seems like they only have 11 drivers on the grid there. So, had 15 in qualifying, but 4 have mysteriously disappeared. Wonder if that had anything to do with load shedding, or is either Eskom or Telkom. One of the two. Let's go to the front. Let's have a look at the battle for the lead. The emerging battle for the lead. No battle just yet. Last time we had a look, the gap was 3.5 seconds. We had a bit of a break now. We're looking at the gap again. It's 2.5 seconds. So Maurice has found a second. Probably not as quickly as he'd like. But remember, Raptor still is on those soft tyres. Probably giving him still a decent amount of grip at this stage. When they do start to fall off, I think the moment he sees that the gap's pretty stable, 2.5, 2.4, but the moment it starts to drop off dramatically, he needs to come in and get rid of those. Renault, the only Renault Avalanche, no teammate tonight. He's had a few teammates this season. Started off with me as a teammate the first 5 rounds. He's actually a fantastic teammate, really was matching me on pace, really pushing me at every circuit. Then I believe he had another teammate in round 6 and then another in round 7. So, and then today, the only man showing up for Renault. As far as I know, he's been at every round. He's one of the loyals. Gonna pick up valuable championship points if he can hold things together here. Back at the front. Let's have a look at that gap. Last time we had a look, we said it was 2.5 seconds. Actually gone up slightly, it's 2.8 seconds now. So Raptor doing a good job in the beginning of the race. Maurice there just getting off balance slightly. His virtual safety car coming in and he's actually losing time. This is why I don't like the virtual safety car. And supposedly everybody's supposed to be going around at the same speed, but look at the gap at the front. It's gone from 2.5 seconds to 6.7. Now it's coming down again, so I'm not sure if my timing screen is glitching. I apologize if it is, but you see what I'm seeing, so there we go. That's the end of virtual safety car, and as you can see, it had a massive effect on the gap. Gap was 2.5 seconds. Raptors found another 3 seconds in the virtual safety car. So when under the virtual safety car, obviously rule number 1, stay within the green delta. But you want it to be pretty close. You know, you want to be like a tenth or two from going red. Otherwise you're going to lose a considerable amount of time at the restart. Just like that. Lost 3 seconds. Didn't do much wrong. We have had a DNF. It's Giant Kind. Luckily didn't trigger a full safety car. could neutralize the race quite badly. Probably be perfect for the guys on softs. For a safety car at this stage. Just the one DNF did not trigger a safety car. 6 drivers remain. Everyone gonna pick up good points tonight. All you need to do is finish the remainder of those laps. Kind just leaving the session. Obviously had enough. That gap at the front, 4.9 seconds. Holding firm for the time being. Avalash, he's in 3rd. Cowboy still 4th. RZDV, the orange McLaren. Same car he was in when I met him. He's in 5th. See, this bit of the race now is just about getting as many clean laps as he can. And when those runners ahead of him on softs eventually come in, he'll pick up some positions. See Quinton there in the comment section. Thanks for making an appearance in the comment section. Always nice to have the support of the drivers even when they can't make it. Obviously being out of town, not being able to make the race tonight, and having a not the best turnout tonight. Obviously load shedding playing its part. Noticed over in tier 1 as well, they had something like 15 drivers in qualifying, but only 11 started the race. So definitely a few problems. Let's have a look at that gap at the front. There we go. Raptor comes into the pits as I say that. So that gap when he came into the pits, the last time I managed to have a look at the gap, it was 3.5 seconds. He's going to come in and put on a set of mediums. I'm going to guess that's to take him to the end of the race. So is he going to stop again? Now off he goes. This is the second half of his race. Led the first half of his race. This part is more about the long game, more about the strategy. His first task is going to be getting past the Renault up the road from him, and he'll be hoping actually that that Renault just peels off into the pits at the end of this lap. Then he won't have to engage, won't have to put that new Alfa Romeo front wing at any risk. Avalash, the only man on circuit with a set of softs still on the car. So I'm sure he will be into the pit shortly. We have a safety car. We have a safety car. I was going to say a yellow flag, but yep. We have a safety car. And it actually works out pretty well for someone like Force. He's just got on a set of mediums. He doesn't need to pit. So he just needs to stay out there, keep track position. Avalash is going to peel off into the pits. That's definitely going to happen. Those softs are 8 laps old and the safety car just came out. And Maurice is just he's gonna have a think about it. Does he stay out and keep track position, and then have Raptor right behind him at the restart on a fresher set of mediums? Or, there we go, there's your answer. Maurice comes into the pits, and, well, he's gone onto a set of hards. I suppose he already had mediums on, and if he only had the one set of mediums, can't exactly go on to a set of softs. It's not going to take you very far, so that was his only option, but he's crucially still come out ahead of Raptor. At the restart now, this means Raptor will have a relatively fresh set of mediums. Maurice will have a fresh set of hards. So I think initially Raptor should have the pace. Then maybe towards the end those hards will just be in a little bit better shape. With a second DNF. Didn't really see what happened there, but here we go. I can hear his mic. So RZTV, was that you?
Yep.
You're the culprit. Where did you go off? What did I miss?
Rouge.
You went off at a Rouge. Well, you know what? At least you went. You know what? At least you went off at a Rouge. You know, there's there's certain tracks, or at least certain parts of certain tracks, that if you retire there, it's still pretty legendary. I mean, if you're gonna retire in Canada, you might as well do it against smaller champions, right in front of the main grandstand and the pits and everything.
Yeah, whoever gone broke screwed up my rules.
What's that?
Never mind.
So Maurice, it's going to be an interesting It's going to be an interesting restart. Maurice obviously is going to be leading. Raptor in second. Fresh set of mediums. Avalash is going to be in third. Also fresh set of mediums. His race has been reinvigorated. Obviously he had a gap of about 10 seconds. That's been eliminated. Rob's left the session. He's had enough. Didn't sound too impressed, but it's going to take a special night to find him a little bit more excited than that. We've got 5 cars left in the session, unfortunately. Everyone who finishes, major points on hand. Hopefully we have enough drivers to fill a podium. Lap 11 of 22, so we are at halfway distance. I'm sure that horse is beginning to get a bit frustrated. I'm personally not one of the quickest drivers, so I don't have to follow the safety car too often, but one time that it did happen, thing is a lot slower than, yeah, well, when it's right there in front of you, it's really slow. Usually when there's a safety car, I'm about half a lap back, giving it everything, trying to catch up, so it doesn't make a difference. Not like a formation lap, you can't just, it's really, I think it's more difficult than a formation lap to really keep the temperature in the tires, keep it in the brakes, and then obviously on the restart everything's cold and no rouge awaits. So if your car didn't feel fantastic going up by rouge on lap 1 and 2, it's not going to feel great on the restart, so just remember that. If you need a bit of temperature, don't give it everything at the start. Let's just have a look what's happening over in tier 1 while we still have this safety car. Just go live with them for a second. Oh, and will you look at that? Will you look at that? What are the odds really? It's that's quite incredible. Actually, Where's my phone? I need to take a picture of this. This is quite awesome. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm speaking about, because you're only watching one or the other stream, then both streams, tier 1, tier 2, running at the same time, were on lap 11 in both races, and both races are currently under safety car. So safety car coming at exactly the same time for both races. Thought we should have been out of sync by now. There we go. Tier 2 full safety car has come to an end. The guys are back underway. Maurice leads from Raptor. They head into Eau Rouge for the first time since the restart. Avalanche just dropping back now. Let's try and have a look what happened there. The horse has got... Is that a horse? Yes, the horse of Cowboy has got past him. Horseboy's looking good for now. Renault hasn't given up on that position. He's getting up on the inside, getting his elbows out into the chicane, but decides against it. Decides better of it. He's thinking about his front wing. Thinking what 10 laps of this place will feel like without a wing. Now what he needs to do is just stay behind that horse, wait for a mistake, if any, make the most of it. Oh no, we've had another DNF. We've had another DNF. Raptor. Oh wow. Raptor has retired. Don't know what happened there. Fortunately we didn't get a sighting of it. I'm commentating by myself, so I don't have there we go. Well, Raptor was in the party chat with me. He's decided to leave, doesn't want to say anything, so don't know what happened there. We're down to 4 runners. And Haas, well, if you're gonna take any positives out of this, Haas is on for a 1-2. Or Maurice now coming into the pits. I did think the hards were a weird choice, but I guess now Raptor, having fallen out of the race, is gonna go in and, well, he's serving a penalty. Yeah, he's serving a penalty. Avalanche also into the pits. Avalanche, no penalty, he comes out, so that gap's gonna be a lot smaller. Haas had to sit stationary for quite some time. That's allowed Cowboy up into the lead. And we're under safety car. So RZDV caused the safety car, Raptor caused the safety car, Giant Kind caused a virtual safety car, and we had one virtual safety car before that I don't know where it came from. So 2 virtual safety cars, 2 full safety cars. This one coming shortly after our last restart. All sorts of havoc here in tier 2. Over in tier 1 they have also had their restart. Mackett leading from Duxter, followed by Neuraider in 3rd, Connor Young in 4th, Vino 5th, Wes a 6th. Safi doing a good job, still down in 7th, Boucher in 8th, Landel 9th. We have the Carter boys making up 10th and 11th. One of them gonna go home with a point, the other gonna not, so they'll fight over that position, just 0.3 of a second between those 2 cars. Back here in tier 2, shouldn't be streaming, I shouldn't be commentating on tier 1, but really not much to say, just 4 cars out on circuit. Esotronic, he's been ghosting for quite some time, so don't know if he's gonna count as a finisher. Not quite sure what's happening with the racing point. But we have 3 cars on track that are actually racing each other. That's Cowboy, Maurice and Avalanche. And this is just going to be frustrating. Not really sure what is happening with that racing point. It shouldn't just unlap itself. It's right in the middle of the mix. Luckily it is ghosting, so it shouldn't cause any problems at the restart. No, my word, I've just turned my head to the right. And there we have a retirement. First retirement of the night in Tier 1. That's Staffy. And he's caused a safety car. So, 2 safety cars in each tier. Not the ideal. Still 10 cars over on that side, and that pit garage is about to get very busy. A whole stream of cars coming in over there. Just I think that Esotronic is not ghosting. Just see, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see what I mean. It appears to be ghosting on my screen from my perspective anyway. Even if you go like this on Esotronic's car, it's ghosting. Well, that's what it appears to be doing. Savalash, she's in third, waiting for that restart. Quinton just saying that maybe appearing to be ghosting because he's a lap down. So very possible. Well, if that is the case, then that's when you should be grateful for this ghosting option. Things would be a lot more complicated if you had the top 3 and then you had someone a lap or 2 behind amongst the mix. Esotronic there, he just runs wide. That will allow the Renault to go through, but it seems like he can't pass him. Esotronic slowing down so that the Renault can go by, but I think he's just getting some sort of a warning or some sort of, because every time he gets close he jumps on the brakes and he's not too interested in going by. Like over there, went right through and let the Racing Point back, so I think he can't take that position for the time being. Lap 15 of 22, we are at the restart. Look at the Haas boys going side by side into the chicane. Maurice thinking better of it. Avalash currently in third. He's going to have the quickest tyre. He's the only man on softs. 2 cars ahead of them. The 2 Haas boys, both on a set of mediums. Cowboys tyres are crucially 6 laps old. So he will have the oldest set of tyres by the end of the race. Nobody planning on pitting. Clinton saying the Haas car is fighting till the end. Well, really hope that this is not how Renault gets its first victory. I think if the Haas boys in this situation were to take each other out, that would just be the end of Steiner, that would be the end of Haas, that would just be the end. We didn't hear from them again. He's still in second, behind his teammate for now. Ooh, there we go, going up a Rouge. We're not getting the best exit to a Rouge. Keeps that inside line going into the chicane. Nicely done. It's good defensive driving. Holding his position for the time being. Not making it easy. Obviously any sort of collision here, an Avalanche will be able to pounce in that yellow Renault. Really hoping we get to the Australian Grand Prix on Friday and find a yellow Renault and it's not all black. Hope that really was just their test livery. Lap 16, so Haas 1-2, Renault in third. Ooh, and wow, I don't need to say anything because you saw it on screen. You saw it on screen. Went on the outside, the space was, I don't know if it was big enough. Cowboy just, there was a bit of contact. And that is the end for Maurice. He's done. There we go, he's on the screen there, his tyre sitting on top of the front wing of the car. And that has brought out a virtual safety car. And Cowboy's pretty much given up the race because virtual safety car came out, he dived into the pits, he obviously had damage. But now Avalanche got a set of softs, 4 laps old, needs to do another 5 laps. That's all he needs to do. Needs to hold it together, doesn't need to push too hard. Cowboy's gonna come out of the pits 22 seconds down the road. So, not sure how many league wins Mr. Avalanche has had before, but this could very well be his first. And no matter the circumstances, your first win is your first win. Oliver Parnas won a single race in over 100 starts, and it was quite famously a French driver winning in a French car at Monaco. But there were only enough drivers to fill a podium. 3 finishes on the day. Absolutely, to finish first. First you got to finish. I believe that's a Sky Sports of some kind. It sounds, yeah, sounds like something, something I'd hear from them. I'll be so careful of Rouge, especially in this situation. Still leads by 22.8 seconds, so that gap hasn't fallen dramatically at all. Doing enough for the time being. Needs to keep the car pointing in the right direction, needs to make sure none of the bits and pieces fall off of it. Just bring it home. Imagine you're just having 5 practice laps by yourself. This will be interesting. Just 3 drivers will pick up points if this remains like this. There's the Tronic. He's going to finish a lap adrift and pick up points for 3rd. That's if you ever get a race where only 2 of the drivers on the podium are on the same lap, something went wrong. Goes over the line now to start lap 19 of 22. Not long to go, but for him it's gonna feel like forever. Cowboy, he's in sector 3, so he's quite a ways down the road, 21.8 seconds to be exact. Like I said, lap 19 of 22. Try to keep an eye on your leader. We only really need to keep our eyes on 2 cars. 3 cars. Tronic still, well, still there. Gonna get great points for the night. Race probably didn't look so great on his screen. Probably thought of giving up once or twice, but look at that. Never throw points away. Over in Tier 1, they're also on lap 19 of 22, I believe. Mackett leads from Duxter. Neuraider in 3rd, Vino 4th, Weza 5th. We've got Boucher in 6th, Carter Boy is in 7th and 8th, and then Connor Young doesn't appear to be having the best of times. He's down in 9th place, hanging on for the points, just 3 laps to go over on that side as well. Finish first, got to first finish. Well, I'm starting to get a Nico Hulkenberg record that I don't really enjoy. I'm sure I've started over 100 league races and I've never had a podium. Been on 4th about 7 times, but no podium. And China should have been my first, but literally the last corner of the race ended that. Got around the last corner, just didn't get to the finish line. Sounds complicated, that's because it is. Avalash leads by 18 seconds. He chose not to pit on that last virtual safety car, just stayed out on the softs, kept his track position, had no damage on the car, really didn't need to pit. He just needs to bring it home. Feel like a really long lap. He's going to go over the line to start his penultimate lap, lap 21 of 22. 14 kilometers remaining for him, between him and 25 points. Cowboy going around that final chicane onto the pit straight. Gap is 16 seconds. set the fastest lap of the race. So giving it everything at this point. One thing we haven't looked at, there's only 3 drivers, so I can do it quickly. Penalties. Avalanche, 6 seconds. Cowboy, 3 seconds. So, can take 3 seconds off that gap, 15.8. Well, like 12.8 seconds. Still substantial, not enough to make a difference. Where is Avalanche? He's in sector 2. Cowboy also in sector 2, just on opposite ends of it. I think in all the races I've commentated on across different games, I don't think I've ever lost 3 or 4 laps at just 2 cars to worry about. 3 cars. Electronic, he's been on those hard tyres. Oh my word. What? Well, had a retirement. Cowboy has retired. We saw him doing a purple. We saw him, he was obviously giving it everything, and we didn't catch it on screen. But as Avalanche goes over the line to start his final lap, really just needs to bring it home, quite literally. Electronic, not sure if he's going to be able to claim that 2nd place, or if he's too far behind. Your eyes, there's your leader, our former teammate. Fantastic job. But I'm not going to focus too much on him. Let's let him do his lap in peace. We'll join him a little later. Electronic just going up Eau Rouge, taking it easy. Going up Eau Rouge for the final time. Or it's probably not in their best shape at this stage. I know some crazy stuff on our screens there, Quentin. I haven't quite seen a race like this. Nevertheless commentated on one. I think I've raced in one or commentated in one. Avalanche leads by a country mile. There we go. Let's bring it home. Over the chicane for the final time, for the 22nd and final time. He's going to go over the line and he's going to win. Nicely done. 25 points in Spa. Not sure if he was expecting that. Well, I'm sure he's going to be a happy bloke and he's going to be able to talk about that forever. As for Electronic, he has claimed 2nd. So, yep, he has claimed 2nd. I'm not sure if Cowboy I'm sure Cowboy finished he finished 90%, so I think he'll be able to. I don't know how that works. That's up to the F1 stewards in this league. I'm not sure what the decision is, but Electronic, he will get 18 points for 2nd, as I understand it. May have been a lap behind, but technically still passed the car on track. That's up to the stewards to decide, but as I understand it, there's your podium. And the Haas driver shouldn't really be there. So just 2 guys on the podium. A little bit more space on the podium than usual. And, well, we saw that kind of result this coming weekend in Australia with Renault and a Racing Point and a Haas. That would be the ultimate result for me. Well, that's the end of that. It's been an interesting race. We obviously started with just these 7 drivers. Didn't think it could get much worse, but we finished with just the 2. Not sure what the points allocations are going to be. We'll have to wait and see. But there we go, Sean in the race there, just popping into our comment section really quickly. Obviously thrilled with that result. Who would have thought? 2nd place, nicely done. It's 18 points. Renault will pick up 25 points, as will Avalash. And well, that's that. Round 8, Belgium. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll probably be back here next week. Hopefully I'll be back with Johan. His internet will be working and load shedding won't be a problem. But that's that. We'll be back next week. Thanks everybody. Thanks for the guys on the stream. The guys that commented, the guys that watched. See, somebody gave a like and it wasn't me, so thanks for that. And we'll be back next week. See you then. Cheers.